Hi readers, I have a story for you today and a very special spot. I am here by the water, by the north branch of the Winooski River to share a story with you. And I wore my jacket that matches the sky. I feel like I'm gonna tuck in this collar because it's gonna be in my face when I'm reading and I don't want it in my face. So we have a very sweet little sticker that was delivered to me at recess by a kindergartner today. Okay, here's the story. I just went and grabbed it out of the library. I did a little walkthrough and I think you're going to enjoy it. I certainly will. It is called Nell Plants a Tree. And you will see here that this is a Red Clover Award nominee. So people will vote on this book later in the school year and determine whether or not it might be a Red Clover winner. And I think it might be because it's really wonderful. This book is by Ann Winter. And I read a little bit in the back about how Anne created this story before I read it. And it said that she grew up in Texas and she would love to play around the trees and she never thought much about the trees. But then later in her life, she thought, who planted all of the trees? And she wrote a book about it. And I'll read you a sweet little message from the author at the end. Nell plants a tree. Beautiful trees. I was hoping that you would see a little bit more beautiful foliage behind me, but alas, the wind has taken most of the leaves down. All right, here's the story. Before a grip on a branch and a fall to the ground and a scrape and a leap and a reach for the top. I love seeing kids climb trees. It's so much fun. Grown-ups should climb trees too. Before all of that, before anyone finds out how high they can climb, Nell picks up a seed. She is a seed on the ground. Before a hush and a point and a nest filled with eggs and a crack in a shell and a beak peeping through, before anyone watches 3 chicks hatching free. What excitement. Nell buries a sprout. And you can see that Nell is not planting her sprout in the ground. She's planting it in a pot. Before last place, as always, and 4th place, and 2nd, arms driving, toes gripping, hands stretched to the trunk, before anyone wins for the very first time, Nell waters the soil. I'm gonna go back to this page. Do you like to run races with friends or family? And have you ever ran to a tree where that's the finish line? I certainly have too. Before a too noisy den and a too squeaky chair and a too scratchy field and a too muddy bank, before anyone finds the best spot to get lost, Nell lets in the sun. Let's go back. Have you ever found a perfect place to read right next to a tree? I certainly have too. I used to climb trees with books and read the books up in the tree. I was so brave. Before sacks of pecans and a crack and a crunch and a roll and a press and a mix and a pour and a peek in the oven and a shoo from the kitchen and a blue baking timer that finally dings before anyone takes the first bite of warm pie, Nell digs a hole. Look how big her sprout has become. And let's go back. Okay, I think that Nell, when she was younger, had a pecan tree. Or maybe you say pecan. I say pecan. Sometimes I say pecan. Do you know other things that you could get off of a tree to make into a pie? What else could you get off of a tree to make into a pie? Yes, apples, pears. What else? I love apple pie. Before treasures to find, like a long strip of bark and a shell and a stone and a leaf freckled with holes and a slender white root sprouting from a pecan. Whoops, the book's ready to turn the page. Before anyone asks what to do with the seed. Look at a beautiful picture. Sunset time. They're just trying to decide what to do with the seed. Before any of that, Nell plants a tree. There's the title of the book coming back. Nell plants a tree that grows and grows. Look at those beautiful roots. They're like artistic roots. Daniel Myers is the illustrator. It's beautiful. Oh, and grows. And this is the scene that the author, Anne Winter, remembers. Family meals under the tree, running around. The tree growing and growing. And that's the end. And there's that message from the author about growing up in the trees. And here's the special message from the author. It says, a tree is a wonderful gift for yourself and an even greater gift for those who come after you. Because trees last and live a really long time. I love this story. I think the illustrations are beautiful. I think the jumping back in time is such a creative way to share the story. Hope that you enjoyed it also. I'll give you a longer glimpse here of the river, which I hope you enjoy as well. And please, of course, come back to listen to more stories. Goodbye, readers.